The mining station orbiting Kepler-4 was dying, and Ronnie knew it. The life support systems wheezed their final breaths, oxygen scrubbers clogged beyond repair. Corporate had abandoned them 3 months ago when the lithium deposits ran dry. Now, only 12 souls remained, waiting for a rescue ship that would never come. Ronnie sat in the empty cafeteria, staring at the protein bar in his hands. His last meal. The irony wasn't lost on him. He'd spent 5 years on this rust bucket extracting wealth for Earth's megacorporations, and this compressed rectangle of nutrients was all he had to show for it. The door hissed open. A woman stumbled in, her environmental suit torn and scorched. She wasn't crew. Ronnie had memorized every face on this station during the long, isolated months. Please. She gasped, collapsing against a table. Water. Ronnie rushed to her side, helping her remove the cracked helmet. Her features were strange to symmetrical, almost otherworldly. Her eyes held depths that reminded him of nebulas he'd seen through the observation deck. He grabbed his water ration and pressed it to her lips. She drank desperately. Easy, he said softly. That's all I've got. She looked at him with those impossible eyes. You gave me your water? Your last water? Ronnie shrugged. You needed it more. I'm Ronnie, by the way. Maintenance tech. Well, former maintenance tech. This whole place is about to become a very expensive coffin. Maisie, she whispered. My name is Maisie. He helped her to a chair, then split his protein bar in half. Here, it's not much, but it's something. Maisie stared at the offered food as if it were made of platinum. You would share your last meal? With a stranger? My mama raised me right, Ronnie said with a tired smile. Besides, what's the point of dying alone and full when I could die with company, and just slightly less full? For the first time, Maisie smiled. It was a sad, ancient smile. Your mother must have been remarkable. She was. Ronnie looked out the viewport at the distant stars. She used to say that humanity's greatest strength wasn't our technology or our weapons. It was our stubborn refusal to let compassion die, even when everything else did. They ate in comfortable silence, to strangers sharing a final meal at the edge of oblivion. How did you get here? Ronnie finally asked. My ship was attacked, Maisie said quietly. I escaped in a pod. It brought me here. Attacked? By who? People who want me dead. She looked at her hands. I ruled many worlds. I made difficult decisions. Not everyone agreed with them. Ronnie raised an eyebrow. Your royalty? Something like that. She met his gaze. Does it matter? Not really. You're just another person who needs help. He stood up. Come on, there's an emergency beacon in the command center. Maybe we can boost its signal. They worked together through the night. Ronnie's practical engineering knowledge, combined with Maisie's surprisingly advanced understanding of quantum communications. She never explained how a refugee knew such things, and Ronnie never asked. As dawn broke over Kepler-4 to be a dawn they observed through failing sensors, the beacon pulsed. Stronger, it might work, Ronnie said, exhausted. Might not, but it's more than we had yesterday. Maisie turned to him. Why? Why help me? Why not save your resources for yourself? Ronnie thought about it. Because that's not who we are. Humanity, I mean. Yeah, we've done terrible things. We've been greedy, short-sighted, cruel, but we've also been kind. We've shared. We've lifted each other up. He smiled. My mama used to say that civilization isn't measured by its towers or its weapons. It's measured by what we do when no one's watching, when there's no reward. That's when you see what a person, what a species really is. Maisie's eyes glistened. Your species is strange. Yeah, we get that a lot. The door burst open. Armored figures stormed in, weapons raised. But these weren't raiders. Their armor bore insignias Ronnie didn't recognize. Intricate and clearly expensive. Empress. The lead figure shouted, dropping to one knee. We've been searching for you. Ronnie blinked. Empress. Maisie stood, and suddenly she seemed different, taller, more regal. The frightened refugee vanished, replaced by someone who commanded solar systems. Stand down. She ordered. Her voice carried authority that made the armed soldiers immediately obey. She turned to Ronnie. I apologize for the deception. I am Maisie Celestini Vora, Empress of the Thousand Worlds Coalition. Ronnie whistled. Well, that's something. You shared your last meal with the ruler of 1,000 worlds. Never knowing who I was, Maisie said softly. You helped me expecting nothing in return. Do you understand how rare that is in the galaxy? I just did what anyone should do. No. Maisie stepped closer. What anyone should do, but what most don't. Commander, evacuate everyone on this station immediately. Then send engineering teams to restore it completely. But Empress, this is a human station, which now falls under Imperial protection, Maisie declared. Furthermore, I want Ronnie appointed as Ambassador of Humanity to the Imperial Court. What? Ronnie nearly fell over. I'm a maintenance tech. You're a man who shared his last meal with a stranger, Maisie said. You're exactly what I need. Someone who understands that compassion isn't weakness. Someone who remembers that power is nothing without humanity. She placed a hand on his shoulder. Your mother was right, Ronnie. Your species' greatest strength is your stubborn refusal to let compassion die. I rule 1,000 worlds, but I had forgotten that simple truth. You reminded me, as the rescue ships arrived and life returned to the dying station. Ronnie realized his mother had taught him something the galaxy desperately needed to learn. Sometimes, sharing your last meal with a stranger doesn't just save a life. Sometimes, it changes 1,000 worlds.